Welcome back to Running the Race. My name is Heather if you are new here, and this channel is to support and advocate for mental and spiritual health. And today I will be talking about what a testimony is, as well as what my personal testimony is. And that will help set the foundation for future videos. And I want to start off today reading in the New Testament, Romans 10:9. And this verse talks about how to be saved, as well as what we should be doing as far as sharing our testimony. It says, "If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. As scripture says, anyone who believes in him will never be put to shame. For there is no difference between Jew and Gentile. The same Lord is the Lord of all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news." So we are called to bring the good news, and by sharing our testimony, we can do that. Some people who have never heard the gospel, who have never been introduced to a church or to the Bible or anything like that, if you show your kindness and your love, people can see Jesus through you and can then give you the opportunity to share your testimony and to share what the Lord has done for you. And that is my goal in this video, is to share what he's done. I've been extremely blessed in my life. I was raised by parents who were both raised Christians, and they have passed that along to me, and I am hoping that I can pass it along to my future kids as well, and so on. Because I was born and raised a Christian, I was always at church. So Sundays, Wednesdays, VBSs, church camps, anytime the doors were open, we were pretty much there as well. And really surrounded by that community, even going to a Christian school. So it was really infiltrated into everything that I've done in my life, and I'm thankful for all of that. As far as my personal journey, of course, hearing about the story of Jesus and his, birth, his death, his resurrection, and all of the stories in the Bible. I've of course heard them since I was, before I was able to speak. And in my personal journey, as far as when I was saved, started when I was 12 years old. I was at a family church camp. I had service that morning, and the Lord started to plant those seeds, if you will, in my heart. And she was actually speaking about the parable of the sower. So if you know that, it talks about the seeds being planted, and I wanted to be the plant that would flourish and grow, and I wanted to have deep roots of faith just like my family did. And so having that in my heart throughout the day, I'm sure as a kid I didn't think too much of it until the evening service, and the pastor who was speaking, to this day, he's still one of my favorites. His name is Greg McDonald, and he was a storyteller. He really was able to grab my attention at such a young age to where it really made everything come alive for me. And the Lord spoke to my heart when he did the altar call that night. And if I remember correctly, it was only me and one other person who actually went up and gave their hearts to the Lord. And that was really scary. being 12 years old in a huge tabernacle, and we were in the back, of course. And so I asked my mom to go up with me, and I prayed that the Lord would forgive me for my sins, that I believed in Him, and was able to go through that prayer. And I want to be able to say, life completely changed. But still being 12 years old, I understood what I was asking, understood the sacrifice that was made for me. But still only 12 years old. Throughout the next few years, I became a teenager. I feel like every year, for years, anytime there was an altar call, I felt like I needed to go up and, be saved. I felt like there just wasn't something, settled. And I don't know if that was just fear of, going to hell. I don't know if there was actual conviction every single time, or if it was an emotional response. But whatever that was, for years, kind of having a scared outlook on, I don't want to die and go to hell. I don't want to die and go to hell. And having that in my head. I didn't really fully grasp all of that for quite a while, actually. In 2019, I was at Passion Conference in Atlanta, and Christine Caine was speaking, and she spoke about having amazing faith and what that looked like, and stepping out into the purposes that the Lord has for you, even if the world thinks you're crazy. And her message was out of Hebrews 11, the faith chapter. And if you read through that, you'll read of all of these stories about the people in the Bible who stepped out in faith and had amazing faith for the Lord. And it really spoke to me. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have amazing faith. I didn't want to have this not so back and forth, but not settled feeling. And so I was able to give everything, be fully sanctified, and give everything to the Lord. And yes, I still make mistakes to this day. We all fall short of the glory of God. And when I do make a mistake, I do ask that the Lord forgives me, or ask whoever I need to forgive me when I do make mistakes, because we're human, we're going to do that. But having that fully settled and not having that fear anymore is completely freeing and an amazing feeling. Following that conference, I became consistent in devotions in 2019. I actually read through the Bible in a year, and that was transformative for me. Not only being consistent with daily Bible reading and devotional, but understanding the Bible fully. Like I said, I've heard stories when I was younger, throughout my whole life about the Bible, but to see how they're intertwined and connected, and being able to see all of that was extremely helpful and educational, and really was able to boost my faith and understanding of everything. My mental health has played a pretty big role in my whole life, as well as with my spiritual health, and how that has played a role in being able to actually do devotions and to have the motivation to do daily tasks and even pray. So I definitely want to share more about that in the future. But today I just wanted to give you a overview of my testimony. So thank you guys for listening to my testimony. I hope it challenges you to share your testimony with someone as well. I will link below the Christine Caine sermon that I had mentioned earlier that was really transformative in my journey as a Christian. And I will also link my social media if you want to message me, or if you have questions or any ideas about future videos that you would like, you can always put them down in the comments below. And if you want to like the video, share it, or if you want to subscribe to my channel so that you can keep getting updates when I post videos, you can do that as well. But until next time, I hope that you keep running the race that the Lord has for you, and I hope that you have a great week. Bye.